The courtroom was icy, not from the marble floors, not from the hum of air conditioning overhead, but from the weight of truth waiting to drop. Every person seated on those polished benches knew this wasn't just a legal proceeding. This was war. Emotional. Financial. Devastatingly personal. The Brown family, once a symbol of unity, was gone. In its place sat litigants, adversaries locked in a battle over betrayal, secrets, and stolen trust. Christine Ruth Brown sat rigid in the witness chair. Navy blouse. Dark slacks. Nothing flashy. But her presence filled the room. She wasn't just an ex-wife recounting grievances. She was the voice of truth. The one brave enough to speak the words whispered behind closed doors for years. All rise. The bailiff's voice cut sharply through the tense silence. The judge entered. Silver hair pinned tight, glasses sliding down her nose, a woman in her early 60s who exuded authority. She sat, adjusted her robe, and scanned the room with calm precision. Case number 2025 BRWN, Christine Ruth Brown versus Kody Brown. Property fraud, emotional damages, and breach of family trust, the clerk intoned. A hush fell over the courtroom. Even the air seemed to pause. Kody Brown sat poised, yet too confident. Dark suit, black tie, smug smirk that never quite reached his eyes. Behind him, Robin's face was unreadable, lips pressed tight. Across the aisle, Janelle's arms were crossed, eyes cold steel. Mary, absent, silent, a ghost in this war of betrayal. Christine's lawyer, Jacob Harding, rose tall, composed, his voice steady. Your Honor, today will prove Mr. Brown didn't just mislead his wives. He orchestrated a financial betrayal that left them with nothing. He forged signatures, rerouted family assets, and manipulated emotional bonds to maintain control. We have the paper trail. We have witnesses. And today, the truth will be revealed. Kody's attorney, Darren Cole, rose, flashy, smooth. Your Honor, this case is nothing but emotion and drama. No evidence of forgery exists. My client acted in the family's interest. These accusations are personal grievances, not legal claims. The judge's gaze remained unshaken. We'll see. Then came the moment Christine had rehearsed endlessly. Ms. Brown. Jacob's voice cut gently through the silence. Can you describe the moment you discovered the Coyote Pass land deed had been transferred without your knowledge? Christine inhaled. Her voice was firm, yet her hands trembled, a storm beneath a calm surface. I was sorting through old boxes in my garage, she began, when I found a copy of our original joint agreement. My signature was on it, but I never signed that version. The name on the deed had changed. It listed only Kody and Robin. Not me, not Janelle, not Mary. Just them. Gasps rippled through the courtroom. And then what did you do? Jacob asked. I took it to a document analyst. They confirmed it. My signature had been digitally forged. I was never part of that final transfer. Kody leaned toward his attorney, whispering sharply. Robin's face drained of color. The judge's voice cut through, ice cold. You're telling this court your signature on a legally binding deed was forged? Yes, Your Honor, Christine replied. And I believe Mr. Brown did it to cut us out of the family property. He lied to every one of us. And this is only the beginning. The next witness will bring this entire courtroom to its knees. The courtroom doors opened. Janelle entered, subpoenaed as a hostile witness, yet determined to testify. She walked past Kody without a glance, her eyes fixed on the truth. Ms. Janelle Brown, were you aware of the forged deed? Jacob asked. No, but I knew something wasn't right. I was promised a third of that land. Kody kept delaying everything, excuse after excuse. When Christine showed me the documents, I realized I had been shut out too. Her voice cracked. I invested money. I believed in that land. I thought we were building a future for our kids. Turns out, he was building a future with Robin without us. Across the room, Robin shifted uncomfortably, knuckles white. Did Mr. Brown ever consult you about removing the other wives from the deed? Never, Janelle snapped. He kept saying everything was in progress, that we'd finalize the paperwork soon 2 years ago. Christine nodded slowly. Every word a hammer blow, every fact another fracture in the veneer of unity Kody had painted for decades. The judge scribbled notes, then looked up. "Call your next witness." And the courtroom changed. "Your Honor," Jacob said, "we'd like to call Robin Brown to the stand." Kody flinched. Robin hesitated, then rose. Her heels clicked across the floor, echoing like a drumbeat of inevitability. She took the oath and avoided Christine's gaze. "Mrs. Brown," Jacob began, "do you know who currently holds legal ownership of Coyote Pass?"
"Yes. Kody and me."
"Yes, Your Honor," Christine replied. "And I believe Mr. Brown did it to cut us out of the family property. He lied to every one of us. And this is only the beginning. The next witness will bring this entire courtroom to its knees." The courtroom doors opened. Janelle entered, subpoenaed as a hostile witness, yet determined to testify. She walked past Kody without a glance, her eyes fixed on the truth. "Ms. Janelle Brown, were you aware of the forged deed?" Jacob asked. "No, but I knew something wasn't right. I was promised a third of that land." Kody kept delaying everything, excuse after excuse. "When Christine showed me the documents, I realized I had been shut out too." Her voice cracked. "I invested money. I believed in that land. I thought we were building a future for our kids. Turns out, he was building a future with Robin without us." Across the room, Robin shifted uncomfortably, knuckles white. "Did Mr. Brown ever consult you about removing the other wives from the deed?" "Never," Janelle snapped. "He kept saying everything was in progress, that we'd finalize the paperwork soon 2 years ago." Christine nodded slowly. Every word a hammer blow, every fact another fracture in the veneer of unity Kody had painted for decades. The judge scribbled notes, then looked up. "Call your next witness." And the courtroom changed. "Your Honor," Jacob said, "we'd like to call Robin Brown to the stand." Kody flinched. Robin hesitated, then rose. Her heels clicked across the floor, echoing like a drumbeat of inevitability. She took the oath and avoided Christine's gaze. "Mrs. Brown," Jacob began, "do you know who currently holds legal ownership of Coyote Pass?"
"Yes. Kody and me."
It had been orchestrated carefully, quietly, now publicly exposed. Just when you thought Robin had revealed everything, the next confession would flip this trial on its head. One word, one devastating admission. The judge's voice cut through the thick tension of the courtroom. This case is no longer just about property. It is about credibility and potential fraud. We will break for lunch and reconvene in 1 hour. As the room emptied, Christine stayed seated. Her hands trembled, folded tightly in her lap. Janelle leaned in, placing a steady hand on her shoulder. "You did it," she whispered. "You got it on record." Across the room, Kody stormed toward Robin, his voice sharp, his posture aggressive. But for the first time, Robin turned away. Christine felt it in that moment. This trial wasn't just about Coyote Pass. It was about freedom, truth, ending the emotional stranglehold Kody had held over this family for over a decade. And here, right here in this courtroom, justice had taken its first step. The antique wall clock ticked steadily above the judge's bench. Afternoon sunlight filtered through narrow blinds, slicing long beams across the polished oak floor. Silence hung thick, broken only by the distant hum of a vending machine and the soft shuffle of legal pads. It was more than a pause. It was the calm before a storm that would shatter everything. Christine sat at the plaintiff's table, fingers tracing the edge of a manila folder she hadn't yet opened. She knew what it contained. This was her nuclear option. But she hadn't been the one to find it. That honor belonged to someone the courtroom had yet to meet. The former family nanny, April Foster. For nearly 5 years, April had quietly observed the Brown family's youngest children, always in the background, nearly invisible. But what she knew, and what she had kept locked away, was about to send shockwaves through this courtroom. The judge returned, her face unreadable. "Are both sides ready to proceed?" Christine's lawyer stood. Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the plaintiff would like to introduce new evidence, a document recently uncovered in the private residence of Kody and Robin Brown. It is labeled Final Distribution Plan and appears to be a handwritten will. Gasps rippled through the room. Kody's lawyer shot up. Objection. We have not had time to verify the authenticity of this document. Christine's attorney leaned forward. We received it through legal means, Your Honor. It was discovered in a locked drawer by the Browns' former employee. She will testify under oath. The judge raised an eyebrow. Proceed, but you'd better pray it's admissible. A secret will. A hidden drawer. A silent witness no one expected. The courtroom held its breath as April Foster walked toward the stand. Time had left its mark, her hair now short, gray at the edges, shoulders heavier with years of truth, but her voice rang crystal clear. Miss Foster, Christine's lawyer began, can you tell the court where you found the document? In a false bottom drawer, April replied calmly. Inside Kody and Robin's personal study desk. I discovered it during my last week with the family. Robin had just let me go. Did they know you found it?
No.
I didn't tell anyone until last week. I wasn't sure what I'd found at first. Christine leaned forward. Her breath caught. And what made you decide to come forward now? April's gaze locked with the judge's. I watched these women sacrifice everything. They raised children, gave up careers, endured so much. All for a man who kept secrets. I could not stay silent any longer. The lawyer handed April a laminated sheet. Is this the document you found?
Yes.
Please read the opening paragraph aloud. April adjusted her glasses, cleared her throat, and read. This agreement supersedes all previous verbal or written understandings of land division within the Brown family. Ownership shall be held solely by Kody Brown, to be transferred in full to Robin Brown upon my passing. The room descended into stunned silence. Every jaw tightened. Every eye widened. Every heartbeat seemed to echo like a drumbeat of betrayal. Kody sat frozen, smoldering with fury. Robin looked away, guilt and fear mingling in her eyes. And Christine finally allowed herself a long, slow exhale. Justice, she realized, had arrived. Christine's lips parted, but no sound came. Janelle blinked slowly, her hand tightening on the edge of the table. Even Robin looked like she'd been slapped. And that was just the beginning. What's written in the second half of that will? The attorney pressed. It'll change everything. Miss Foster, he continued, did you compare this document with other writings from Mr. Brown? Yes, April said firmly. I kept a birthday card he wrote to his son. Same penmanship. Same phrasing. It's his. The attorney's voice grew grim. Let's talk about what's in the second half of this will. Please read the next section. April's voice trembled slightly as she read. The assets of the family trust, including liquid cash, property income, and retirement accounts, are to be consolidated and held in Robin's control. The other spouses will receive no legal claim or disbursement unless previously arranged by written agreement approved solely by myself. The courtroom went still as death. Even the judge blinked slowly, taken aback. Are you saying, Mr. Brown intended to exclude all other spouses and children from the family estate? Christine's lawyer spoke before she could. Yes, Your Honor. This document shows premeditated concealment and financial betrayal. Kody sprang to his feet. That's not what it meant. That wasn't final. It was just a draft. I was working on a family protection plan. The judge's gavel slammed down like a thunderclap. Sit down, Mr. Brown. You'll have your turn. Christine's eyes met Robin's across the courtroom.
Panic.
Hesitation.
Fear.
For the first time in years, Robin looked unsure. She opened her mouth, but no words came. The judge leaned back in her chair. I want forensic verification of that will. But if it holds up, Mr. Brown, you may be facing criminal liability for trust mismanagement and perjury. Kody's face went pale. April stepped down quietly, but her testimony lingered like rolling thunder. Christine's lawyer wasn't done. Your Honor, I'd like to call one final witness for today's session, Leon Brown. A gasp swept through the courtroom. Even Christine looked surprised. The nanny was a bombshell. But this was Kody's own child speaking. Leon Brown stepped forward, shoulders squared, jaw set. Kody sat frozen as his child approached the stand. After being sworn in, Leon looked directly at his father. "I found that document years ago," he began. "I didn't understand it at the time. I was 17. I asked Dad what it was. He told me never to touch it again, that it was for the future. But now I get it. It wasn't for all of us. It was for them." The courtroom held its breath. Leon continued, voice steady, piercing. "Dad always said we were one family, but behind closed doors, he was building something else. A kingdom with Robin. And we were just collateral." Christine wiped a tear from her cheek. Janelle lowered her head. Kody stared at his hands, jaw clenched. The judge's voice was low, steady, almost chilling. "Mr. Brown, I strongly advise you to retain criminal defense counsel. This court is beginning to lean toward issuing a motion for further investigation into financial misconduct." Kody didn't speak. Christine's lawyer turned to face the courtroom. "Your Honor, this case isn't just about land. It's about trust. About decades of deception masquerading as love. And finally, we have the evidence. And the voices that were never heard until now." The judge stood. "This court is adjourned until tomorrow morning, at which time forensic testimony on the authenticity of the will shall be heard."
Court dismissed.
The third day of trial didn't start with shouting. It began with silence.
Thick. Hollow. Tense.
The courtroom felt smaller now. The air heavier. The walls closer. After April's bombshell testimony and Leon's quiet devastation, the truth was no longer a distant hope. It was here, standing shoulder to shoulder with betrayal, with pain, with cold, unflinching financial facts. Kody sat stone-faced, tie slightly loosened, jaw clenched. The light in his eyes, the performative, smug light, was gone. Robin sat beside him, mascara smudged beneath her eyes, hands folded tightly in her lap, like a child awaiting punishment. Christine entered the courtroom, jaw locked, gaze steady.
She didn't speak.
She didn't pass pleasantries. Not to Janelle. Not to anyone. Today, she wasn't here to speak. She was here to reveal. The judge settled in. "Mr. Harding, you may proceed." Christine's attorney, Rose, voice calm but icy, began. "Your Honor, today we present authenticated financial documentation recovered through subpoenaed banking records, matched with IRS filings. These records show Mr. Brown created a private account in Arizona under the name BRWN Legacy Holdings, without the knowledge or consent of his wives. This account was used to quietly siphon funds from the family trust." Kody's lawyer leapt to his feet. "Objection. There's no direct link between this account and Mr. Brown's intentions." Harding held up a page, letting the weight of the evidence hang in the air. "We have Kody's signature authorizing withdrawals from the family trust. We have the destination account. And more importantly, we have the trail of what he did with it." The courtroom leaned forward. The projector flickered to life. A spreadsheet filled the wall. Line item 12. $35,600 transferred from the Brown Family Education Fund to BRWN Legacy Holdings. Dated March 3, 2022. Line item 27. $47,900, labeled RV maintenance, actually used to purchase a private getaway cabin in Flagstaff, owned solely by Robin Brown. Every head turned. Every jaw clenched. Every heart thumped with the pulse of betrayal unveiled. This was no longer a family dispute. This was a courtroom war, a battle over truth, over legacy, over decades of lies finally exposed. All eyes shot to Robin. "Objection." Kody's lawyer barked again. Sustained in tone, but not in content. The judge said, her voice cutting through the tension. "Let the record speak." Line by line, dollar by dollar, the evidence unfolded. A total of $212,000 quietly moved, money never discussed with Christine, Janelle, or Mary. Harding stepped forward, voice sharp, precise. "Your Honor, the deception wasn't only emotional. It was economic. Mr. Brown wasn't just hiding secrets. He was building an empire with stolen bricks. Christine's eyes never left the screen. She had seen these records before, dozens of times. But seeing them now in the courtroom, in front of a judge, in front of Kody and Robin, it was something else entirely. It was justice. The judge turned her piercing gaze to Kody. Mr. Brown, this court is now obligated to request forensic audit intervention. You will provide full access to personal and family-held accounts by end of day. If you refuse, I will issue a seizure order. Kody said nothing. His silence thundered louder than any denial. Janelle rose slowly in the gallery. Your Honor, may I speak? Are you presenting as a witness? The judge asked. Yes, she said, voice steady but heavy with emotion, and as a co-victim. Permission granted. Janelle approached the stand, composure masking the weight of betrayal on her shoulders. I trusted Kody with everything, she began. When we decided to invest in the land at Coyote Pass, we agreed we'd build generational wealth for all our children, not just his and Robin's. She lifted a thick binder. This includes years of emails, receipts, texts, all proving the money was never supposed to be used the way it was. It was for our kids, for tuition, housing, business startups. He told us we were building a legacy, but he was just building a bunker. The judge scanned the binder. We'll enter it into evidence. Kody finally spoke, voice strained. I never stole. I moved money for protection. Protection from who? Christine snapped. From your own family? The courtroom leaned in. The next testimony, Harding continued, reveals where Kody hid the cabin and what else was found inside. The doors opened. Elijah Barron, a private investigator in his 50s, entered with a laptop under his arm. He took the stand, pulling up images of a secluded log cabin deep in the woods. Purchased in Robin Brown's name using funds from BRWN Legacy Holdings, surveillance confirmed Kody visited the property at least once a month for the past year. Another image appeared, a filing cabinet inside the cabin, partially open. Inside, hard copies of land deeds, will drafts, and 3 envelopes filled with cash, $28,000 in total. Christine leaned forward, breath caught. Janelle gasped quietly. Was any of this reported on Mr. Brown's taxes? The judge asked. No, Your Honor. None of it, the investigator confirmed. Robin looked as if she might collapse. Christine's lawyer leaned forward. We believe this cabin was Kody's safety net, a separate life, a private escape built on the backs of women who sacrificed everything for him. The judge nodded slowly. You've made a compelling case, Mr. Harding. She turned to Kody. Mr. Brown, the evidence is damning. Forged documents, a concealed will, redirected funds, and a secret property. Unless you have an explanation that rewrites reality, prepare for what comes next. Kody lowered his head, silent. But then Robin stood. Trembling, she faced the courtroom. Your Honor, may I speak? The room stilled. I want to clarify something, she said, tears streaming. I didn't know about the account. I didn't ask for the cabin. I didn't know about the cash. But I knew Kody was hiding things, and I let him because I was scared of losing him. She looked at Christine, then Janelle.
I'm sorry.
I stayed quiet because I thought he'd love me more if I kept his secrets. But now I see what it cost all of you and our kids. I'm not asking for forgiveness, just truth. Even the judge remained silent, letting the weight of her words hang in the room. Christine's lawyer pressed on. Robin, did Kody ever ask you to sign documents without explaining what they were? Her eyes widened.
Yes.
Once he said it was a property adjustment. Just paperwork for insurance. I didn't read it. I trusted him. Did it involve Coyote Pass land? I think it did, but I didn't know at the time. Christine closed her eyes. Robin continued, voice breaking. He told me if I ever questioned him in public, he'd take the kids. Kids no judge would give custody to a woman tied to polygamy scandals. So I stayed quiet. I stayed loyal. The judge leaned forward. Are you saying you were manipulated into silence through fear of losing your children? Yes, Robin said firmly. He knew my greatest fear, and he used it. Kody exploded. Liar, he shouted, slamming his fist. The judge's gavel thundered down. Mr. Brown, out of order. Sit down, or I will remove you. Robin sobbed. I stayed because I thought he'd choose me. I thought I was the one who could finally make him whole, but I see it now. He didn't want a wife. He wanted a puppet. Christine's lawyer held up a folded journal. Robin's handwriting, found in the cabin desk. She nodded slowly, unfolding the paper. March 6th. Kody says the other wives are poison. He says once the land is in our name, everything will be okay. I don't know if I believe him. I don't want to be the villain, but I love him. The courtroom was deathly silent. It means I was blind, Robin whispered. I let love cloud justice. Thank you, Miss Brown. You may step down. She returned to her seat, alone, exposed, real. Kody didn't look at her. His face was hollow, fists clenched in rage. The final day dawned gray, rain tapping lightly on courthouse windows. Every seat filled. Every eye focused. Christine and Janelle sat poised. Mary returned, sunglasses on, silent. Kody entered last, with Robin trailing behind, still distant. The judge entered. Court is in session. Before final statements, there is one last item submitted by the plaintiffs. A sealed envelope, delivered anonymously the night before. Verified as Kody Brown's handwriting, a confession letter never sent. The judge read aloud. If they ever find out about the account, tell them it was Robin's idea. She'll forgive me eventually. I can't let Christine win. Not after what she did. Gasps filled the room. Robin trembled. He never told me he wrote that. Kody said nothing. His silence was deafening. Christine's lawyer declared, let the record show Mr. Brown refuses to deny authorship of this confession. The judge's voice cut through the courtroom. In light of this document, the forged deed, the hidden account, the cabin, unauthorized transfers, and psychological testimony from multiple parties, this court finds in favor of the plaintiffs. Full ownership of Coyote Pass shall be divided equally among Christine, Janelle, and Mary Brown. Mr. Brown's claims are void. The RWN Legacy Holdings estate will be frozen pending forensic review and possible criminal investigation. Reporters scribbled frantically. And Mr. Brown, the judge continued, you are barred from acting as trustee or custodian of any shared family assets until further review. Kody had lost everything. But Christine stood. Your Honor, one more thing. A thin envelope was presented to Robin, found taped behind a drawer in the cabin. The judge read aloud. If you're reading this, they found everything. The cabin, the money, the will.
I'm sorry.
You weren't supposed to go down with me. That's why I changed the life insurance to your name. The others never knew. If I go down, disappear. Take the funds and start over. You were always the only one I loved. The room erupted. Janelle was stunned. Christine's face contorted. Robin collapsed into her seat, shaking. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. The judge thundered. Mr. Brown, this case will be referred to the district attorney for possible charges of financial conspiracy, fraud, and premeditated estate manipulation. Kody sat frozen, defeated. As the courtroom emptied, a mysterious figure stepped forward, Callie, Kody's former legal assistant, holding a photo album. I didn't know who to tell, she whispered. But I saw your trial on TV, and I knew it was time. Inside the album, photos of Kody with another woman and 3 children, secrets even the trial hadn't revealed. The Brown family saga was far from over, because some truths still hide in the shadows. Kody had lost everything, but Christine stood. Your Honor, one more thing. A thin envelope was presented to Robin, found taped behind a drawer in the cabin. The judge read aloud. If you're reading this, they found everything. The cabin, the money, the will.
I'm sorry.
You weren't supposed to go down with me. That's why I changed the life insurance to your name. The others never knew. If I go down, disappear. Take the funds and start over. You were always the only one I loved. The room erupted. Janelle was stunned. Christine's face contorted. Robin collapsed into her seat, shaking. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. The judge thundered. Mr. Brown, this case will be referred to the district attorney for possible charges of financial conspiracy, fraud, and premeditated estate manipulation. Kody sat frozen, defeated. As the courtroom emptied, a mysterious figure stepped forward. Callie, Kody's former legal assistant, holding a photo album. I didn't know who to tell, she whispered. But I saw your trial on TV, and I knew it was time. Inside the album, photos of Kody with another woman and 3 children. Secrets even the trial hadn't revealed. The Brown family saga was far from over. Because some truths still hide in the shadows.